Okay, I am back 2.5 weeks later, finally recapping my ClexaCon experience, and honestly, it took that long for me to recover from it. Let me just start off by saying that ClexaCon 2018 was without a doubt one of the best weekends of my life. And I know I said the same thing about last year's ClexaCon, but they're honestly just so different. So last year I went to ClexaCon all by myself, did not know anybody, and didn't talk to a lot of people there. I made some friends, but I was staying off the strip because I wasn't 21 yet. I was just alone. I couldn't go to any parties or anything. And so what last year's ClexaCon was for me was just meeting all these celebrities, getting all these photo ops, autographs, and just being at the panels. And this year was just about friendship, basically. Obviously, panels and all that stuff as well. But I hung out with one of the most amazing groups of women, and I got to meet so many more people than last year. And all of the panels I talk about are on the ClexaCon YouTube page, so I'll just link that down below. So day one in Vegas for me was on Thursday, the day before ClexaCon actually started. I flew from Vancouver directly to Vegas and arrived just before noon. And already from the start, it was a completely different atmosphere. First of all, Vegas, so different from Vancouver. And second, as I was standing in line for a pretzel at Auntie Anne's, the girl in front of me goes, "Hey, I know your face." So right then and there I knew it was going to be a great weekend. Just being recognized as soon as I landed was so surreal for me. I did not get used to it the whole weekend in Vegas. And as soon as I got my pretzel, my roommate texted me saying that she had landed early. And my roommate was the Emily Ann. And if you don't know who that is, have you been living under a frickin' rock? She is obviously another reactor, and I was so happy to have a roommate this year. It really does make a difference. I felt part of the gang, She was actually a good YouTuber and did some vlogging while we were over there in Vegas. I'll link you to part 1 that's out, and part 2 should be out any day now. And when we finally found each other after running around the whole maze of the airport, we Ubered over to the Tropicana Hotel where ClexaCon was held. And as we were standing in line to check into the hotel, we were greeted by the Holy Trinity plus Rachel. And right then and there I knew it was going to be a different experience from last time, because if you remember my last year's ClexaCon video, I was too afraid to even talk to Rin, Elke, and Sophia, really, because without them I would probably not even be here right now, And so being able to hang out with them, it was genuinely amazing. And I am honestly so proud of myself because you might not be able to tell from all my videos, but I have real social anxiety. I get so nervous when I'm surrounded by people I respect and admire that I just don't say anything. Sorry, Sophia. And I feel like I grew so much just as a person over at ClexaCon because I made so many friends just over a weekend, and I actually allowed myself to be happy, talk to people, it was incredible. And Thursday was also the badge pickup party, and I went over with the reactors, and it was so crowded there. That's the first thing that hit me. We had to stand in line for so long just to get our badges. But it's still one of the highlights of my time over there because, again, I met more people. And unlike myself, I actually danced all night. I don't dance. People who don't know me, I don't dance. And I kind of almost forced myself to stay for the whole experience. And I met more people, had some drinks. And my knees and feet hated me for the rest of the trip. But it was worth it. So the actual first day of ClexaCon, I started off my morning with some Starbucks. And it's also kind of a highlight, I guess, not really for me, but for my friends who thought it was hilarious, because Starbucks spelled my name wrong in the most ridiculous way I've ever seen it spelled before. Yes, they spelled my name yoga. Which is, I can laugh about it now, but honestly, it can't be that hard. I spelled it out for her. But anyways, and the first panel that I went to was the Alexis Legacy panel that Rin was a part of. And it was a great way to start off ClexaCon. I wasn't able to go to last year since my flight was delayed like 6 hours, so I was happy to be able to attend it. And after that, I had a bit of a break because there wasn't anything I really wanted to see or get signed or whatever. So I tried my best to get some kind of lunch going with anybody who wanted to hang out, but I swear It was so crowded. It was so busy. I feel like people weren't really checking their phones, that it didn't really happen. And I wish that I had planned better, some kind of lunch or something for anybody who donated to me or any kind of fans that wanted to hang out, but it didn't work out. And that is definitely on the top of my list if I go to ClexaCon again, is to organize something like that. So that's one regret I have. I did attend the last bit of Attack on Titan, and I had honestly no idea what it was when I walked in. I just wanted to sit down. But it actually turned out pretty cool. You know, I didn't know voice acting had so much to it. So that was an interesting listen if anybody wants to watch that. And then after that, it was the LGBTQ actresses panel, and that was honestly one of the best panels at all of ClexaCon. It's my second favorite of the whole con, because it made me laugh and it made me sob so much. I couldn't hold it in. My gosh, okay, this is one you have to watch if you haven't, because I have to look at a list because I'm horrible with names. But the moderator was Brittany Ashley, and I'm actually a big fan of her, and she's so funny that I feel like she just made the panel even greater. And the panelists were Dot Mary Jones, Nicole Pacent, Javier Lance, Stillwell, Mandala Rose, and Stephanie Beatrice. Just started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I already knew how important her character is in it. But yeah, they got me in all the feels. And after that, I ran into Rachel and Elke, and that's when I really started talking to both of them and realized how well I get along with other Europeans. Like, it was so easy to talk to Rachel especially, and a fellow tall European. I definitely did get called Elke once at ClexaCon. I don't know why. It's not like we're both tall Europeans with brown wavy hair and blue eyes and 4-letter names that people need us to repeat every time we introduce ourselves. Hashtag Elke. You know, I'm just gonna pause there because this blank wall makes me want to put up some fan art that I bought at ClexaCon. There we go. We got our Yorkie, we got our Kelly, we got Lexa and Clark. And anyways, we went to the Lost Girl reunion panel, and that's when it really hit me how many people there were, because they had to squeeze us in and we couldn't even sit down. We had to stand in the back. But again, it was worth it. It's really great for all the actresses and people involved in the show to see how really big of an impact the show had on people, because they had so much support. And it was another panel I recommend. We got to see a Docubus wedding proposal, so I have to recommend it. After the Lost Girl reunion panel, we went to the Girl Ship TV. It was also another panel I recommend watching. I definitely would get into some more web series because I've only really watched Carmilla. I do love Girl Ship for the Drunk Lesbians watch. I think it's hilarious. Definitely recommend it. And after the Girl Ship TV panel, I actually lost Rachel, and Elke was already at the Winona Earp panel. And I couldn't even get into the Winona Earp panel. There were too many people. So I sat outside like a sad loner watching it on the TV screen, the whole panel. And it was good from what I saw of it. But you know, I was able to get into the Way Hot panel the next day, so I'm okay with it. Like, honestly, ClexaCon was such a whirlwind that I'm completely forgetting so many things right now. But I do remember that Friday was a night all the reactors and a bunch of other people I had never met before all met up in someone's room. Don't even know whose room it was. And that was actually the drunkest I got. You know, it was such a comfortable, just chill, hangout session in someone's room that I got to, you know, let loose. And again, I made so many new friends. I talked to Rachel and Elke about Eurovision, and we fangirled over that. I even talked to a Danish girl, and I don't understand Danish. And I don't know if it was just because she was kind of speaking in Swedish, but my mom also told me that if you're not sober, you can understand Danish better, so that might be it. Ended up getting pretty late as all the nights in Vegas, which is why I had to recover from the exhaustion after it. And Saturday morning, we were greeted with One Day at a Time, and I'm glad I binge-watched this show before even going to ClexaCon. It was really great. And after One Day at a Time, I was so conflicted because there's so many panels that overlap, and I had to miss so much. And after that, it was the bisexual representation in media panel, but since I couldn't get to the Winona Earp one the day before, I decided to go to Way Hot instead, and I actually got in, so I'm happy about that. And you could do no wrong with Way Hot, honestly. They're adorable, and I loved being able to see them again. Ooh. what did I do after that? Oh man, okay. And after that was the Black Lightning panel. I'm so pissed at myself that I didn't actually go to that. But at that point I was starving. I had to go grab some lunch, and also at the same time I had to try and get an autograph for Kyler Lee. And the line was so long that after a long time of waiting, they cut us off. I didn't get an autograph, and I had to console myself by getting an autograph from Dominique again. I wasn't planning to, but you know, I'd saved a lot of money from work, and I just really wanted to meet her again. She's just such a great person. And that's where this baby comes in. I didn't have time to get Cass' autograph, but hopefully there will be another year when I see her. And brace yourselves, because Dominique actually remembered me. You know, and she's just such a bright person. Even though she had a back injury and she'd been doing autographs for such a long time, been there the whole day, she's just a ray of sunshine is what I can describe her as. And I'm just so glad she actually remembered me. And I hope she remembers that she's supposed to name her kid Ilva too, you know. But yeah, I was all flustered after that. Again, since I don't watch Person of Interest, I didn't actually go to the shoot panel, but I heard it was great. Instead, I went around and bought some fan art, and I got way ahead in line for the Alex Danvers panel, because I knew it was going to be amazing, and I was right. As soon as Kyler Lee walked on stage, she burst out into tears, and so did I. It was my #1 panel of the whole convention. It made me laugh, made me cry again. She is honestly one of the most amazing people in this entire universe, and I'm so glad she was at ClexaCon and that I actually got to meet her. And it made me so desperate to get her autograph that again I tried to get it afterwards and stood in line for a super long time, and again got cut off. And one of the many times I stood in line for Kyler Lee's autograph, they actually cut it off when I was the second person in the line from cutoff point, so I got so sad, and I was so worried too, because my plan was to get Kyler Lee's autograph on Saturday and then Katie Lotz's on Sunday, but that did not work out. And so my Sunday was super busy and stressful. Saturday was also the night of Ascension, and I hung out with an amazing group of girls and danced my night away. I had some issues with the Ascension party because, first of all, the bars, they were completely packed. It took over half an hour to get a drink, and the first thing I bought was a beer, and it cost me $10. The drinks were so expensive and it took so long that I was barely even buzzed the whole night. And also the bartenders, they were like older, so they poured all the drinks super slow. And since it's a convention with a bunch of queer people who are ready to party, I feel like they should have had bartenders that could keep up with us, you know? So that was just one of the downsides to the night. But highlight of the night, Stephanie Beatrice and Isabel Gomez and more people from the LGBTQ actresses panel, they were at the party, and I could see them, and I got as close as I could to them, and it was absolutely incredible. I danced the night away, and so did they. You can probably see some videos out there on YouTube and Twitter. And I was already starting to feel that night, this is gonna be over soon. I don't want it to be over. So, you know, I just embraced it. I went to bed earlier than most people, I think at 2 or something, which is like 2 hours before it actually was supposed to end. And since I was planning on getting Kyler Lee's and Katie Lotz's autographs on Sunday, I had to be up and early. And even though I didn't get Kyler Lee's or Katie Lotz's autographs in the morning, even though I had gone earlier, I just found Rachel and we hung out, and I ended up getting Isabella Gomez's autograph. It was one of the cheaper ones, and it was really great just meeting her. Here it is. Ilva, lovely to meet you. And I don't know why, but she was just one of the celebrities that I was most comfortable talking to. We were just joking about Ascension, how she partied all night, and just how fun it was. She's just a really great person, really fun to talk to. I'm so glad I ended up getting her autograph. And speaking of One Day at a Time, I actually met a freelance writer called Emily. I think I met like 3 or 4 Emilys at this convention, I swear. But she actually wrote an article about One Day at a Time as well as Riverdale, and I'll link it to you below. I read them, they're great, and they're queer, so you should definitely read them too. And after that, it was the YouTube 2.0 panel, and I wasn't supposed to be in it, and I was refusing to be on it when I was there. But everybody who was on the panel forced me to go up, Even though I hate public speaking, I cannot do it, I freeze up. But I did go up on the panel and actually spoke, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And it was such a fun experience, and I'm honestly happy that I did go up. Had a lot of laughs and a lot of great questions from everybody, and the video we actually showed at the panel was one of the funniest ones I've seen. I'll link it below. It was great and a great experience in general. I'm happy I actually went. And if you told me a couple years ago that I'd actually be at a panel at a convention, I would not believe you. I am only here now because of the Holy Trinity, Rin, Elk, and Sophia, and that was one of the questions at the panel, was getting started with YouTube, and I had no idea what reactions were. And then as I was watching the 100, I started just looking up fan videos on YouTube, and then stumbled on Sophia's. The first reaction I ever saw was Sophia's reaction to one of the episodes, and she led me to Rin and Elka, and they made me feel so part of the fandom. They made me so excited for the show. And then when Lexa died, they are who I turned to, because it made me feel less alone, because nobody I knew was really watching it or felt the same way I did about Lexa and Clark. And that's why I wanted to make reactions too, in case that would help somebody feel more connected to the show or the fandom. And I am honored to have been on that panel. And also honored in meeting any fans that I met at ClexaCon. I know I got a picture with some. I know I talked to a lot of people, especially when I was standing in lines, when people started recognizing my face. It was just a great experience, in all honesty. I don't have an actual link to the panel, so if you know anyone who has it, please share. And if I find it, I will definitely share it on Twitter. And because I wanted to get Kyler Lee's and Katie Lotz's autographs, I had to miss the Legends of Tomorrow panel. And waiting in line for so long, I guess because so many people actually went to the Legends panel, I was able to get Kyler Lee's autograph. There it is. And the first thing she says to me is that she called me a tall drink of water. And at the time, I didn't know what she was talking about. I was just so mesmerized and was speechless. But I actually Googled it later, and apparently it means a man or woman that is tall, gorgeous, and super delicious. And I am even more dead after knowing what that means. But with any celebrity, I don't remember what I was planning to say. If I would have said anything, it would be how amazing her character is in Supergirl and how important it is to have a badass female lesbian character out there. But of course, I just asked, how's your day going, or something like that. I don't even remember. But like most celebrities, when they hear my name, they're really curious about where I'm from, and I tell them I'm from Sweden. Oh, that's so cool. And with all the celebrities that I actually got autographs from, what I would do is that when they've signed my name and I'm about to leave, I just look them straight in the eyes. I generally avoid looking people in the eyes for some reason. I guess it's my social anxiety again. But I looked her in the eyes and I said, thank you so much. And she did not shy away from me. She just generally looked back and smiled. And that is the image I will keep with me from the rest of my life. Katie only had like a half-hour window before the She 30 panel to do autographs, and I tried getting in that line, but she had to go. So I went to the She 30 panel, which is another panel I recommend. It was really great. It was just a great panel full of badass women, which was Kyler Lee, Katie Lotz, and Maisie Richardson. And after that, Katie was actually amazing enough to stay longer for autographs, and I was able to get hers. And again, I had no idea what to say. I just said I'm a huge fan, and I was completely mesmerized by her very, very blue eyes. And I even stuck around to get a selfie with her, and I'm so glad she stayed for that. And that is yet another disappointment I had with ClexaCon. I don't have the best phone. But they had a middle-aged woman taking photos, and she snapped a picture, and it was completely blurry. And so I asked her to take another one, or maybe one or two, just focus the camera. And once again, the picture turned out blurry, even though I paid money for it. But I do understand that ClexaCon was very hectic with so many people this year that they couldn't organize every single detail, but hopefully that will be better for the next time. I'm just glad I got to put my arm around her twice. And that was it. That was the last of ClexaCon. It went by so quickly, too quickly, but it was amazing, every single bit of it. And kind of as a goodbye dinner, since some people were leaving that night, we all went to Hooters, about, I guess, 20 of us, maybe, more or less. and had a really great dinner. And really after dinner, none of us wanted the night to end, so we just went outside on the grass at the Tropicana and just hung out. Thanks, Rachel. I will never look at fake grass the same way again. It was just a great way to end the whole ClexaCon experience. And that's about all I remember from those days. I probably missed out a bunch, and honestly I would have probably done it even if I'd filmed this right after coming back from ClexaCon, because it just went by so quickly, you know, that I've just mushed all the days into one really long day where I did not sleep or eat that much. So Monday morning came and Emily and I were leaving at similar times, so we decided to Uber together. And before that I had a delicious breakfast at the Tropicana buffet, and I got a couple of more signatures, and it became my most prized possession, even more prized than all of these if you can believe, and that is my ClexaCon badge. I got it signed by a lot of the people I met, not all of them because some had already left. And it's just a reminder of all the new friends that I made and all the amazing people that I met and just the whole experience, and I am so honored to have been part of it. I'd just like to end this video by thanking every single person who was involved with ClexaCon, all the organizers and volunteers, every single person, and also thanks to anybody who donated for me to be able to be a part of this great experience. I wish I could have met more of you, and I will try my best to get to the next ClexaCon. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.